Hello my friends, welcome all back to the channel. It is the good old Mossy Jake, back with another Nintendo video. Yes, we're talking about the Nintendo Direct on Friday. According to everyone, it is on Friday. So, let's break it down. Let's go over what we might see at this upcoming Nintendo Direct. I want to give you, like, my thoughts on what could be the perfect Nintendo Direct on September 12th. So, buckle down if you're ready for some sick rumor slash leak slash my opinions of a direct, okay? So, yeah, let's get excited for it, guys. Come on now. No, okay. Alright, so starting off, if we start off this Nintendo Direct on September 12th, it's early in the morning, everyone's getting ready, everyone's sitting down, you're tuning into my live stream to watch it, you know what I'm saying? And we sit on what could be the perfect opener for a general Nintendo Direct. Now, like I've said before, we don't necessarily know if it's going to be an exact general direct. It could be a Mario's 40th anniversary direct, but from all the rumors and, you know, people I've heard talking about it, it is just a general direct, which is great, So we're just going to roll with that, like a general, like 40-minute Nintendo Direct. Now, it could be longer, you know, could be a tiny bit shorter, who knows, depending on how much information they have to show us, but let's just, for the video's sake, say it's a 40-minute Nintendo Direct. Okay, so it starts out, right? You're tuning into Mossy Jake's stream. You're like, all right, Mossy Jake, what's your ideas? What's the opener? Because it always starts out with a banger and ends with a banger. Usually. Now, I could see them starting out with Metroid Prime 4 and then just giving us a release date. And now I know a lot of people may be kind of upset about that because it's like, well, we already know that's coming. Why would that be the opener? It might be, honestly, because we don't have a release date for Metroid Prime 4, which is so weird. So weird. Okay, and we really do need one because I don't know when this game's gonna drop. Everyone was saying like, well, probably November, the holiday title. But Kirby Air Riders is the holiday title, right? Now, I'm not saying you couldn't have that one with it, right? It is a Switch 1 game, and, you know, like, the Kirby Air Riders is a Switch 2 game. So, you know, it could be. But just after they announced Kirby Air Riders was gonna be a November title, I wasn't really sure if this was actually going to happen this year. So it may be early next year. I'm not really sure. You know, there was all these rumors that it was like getting delayed again, and I know that sounds so sad, but I think it's close. I think, you know, the latest we'll get this game is like the beginning of next year, right? So I think, honestly, it's going to start out with Metroid Prime 4. Whether you like it or not, you know, that's a big game so many people have been waiting for. I know we already know it's coming, but that's just going to be the starting point. Now, like I said, all this is just my opinion and what I've gathered from rumors and stuff, so obviously take it with a grain of salt, and, you know, we don't know what's going to happen, but this is just a fun little video. Anyway, so it starts out with Metroid Prime 4, release date. It gives us a release date at the end. If it doesn't, it will probably, this is what I'm guessing. If for some reason it does not give us a release date, it's going to be like, hey, tune into this Nintendo Direct focused on Metroid Prime 4, and that is where we will give you the release date, and it'll be in like a week or two. You know, it's not gonna be like, here's another trailer for it. That's it. You know, if they're gonna show Metroid Prime 4 again, another trailer for it, they're gonna either give us a release date or be like, hey, tune into this event coming up in like a week or two, and then we will talk about the release date. Oh my goodness. But yeah, if they give us a release date, I believe it'll be at the beginning. If it's not a release date and it's just like a tease of like, hey, tune into this Metroid Prime 4 Direct, I think it'll be somewhere probably in the middle of the Direct. But let's just say, for the video's sake, it's at the very beginning. Okay, moving on. In fact, actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna switch it up here real quick. I think that will actually be in the middle with, and them saying, like a little trailer of them saying, hey, tune into this Metroid Prime 4 Direct in like a week or two, because I've heard a lot of rumors of them saying that. So let's just say that's in the middle somewhere. Sorry, what's at the beginning? Well, it's something about a mansion and a ghostly figures and a haunting, like Luigi's Mansion 4. Come on, I've heard rumors for so long, and it's just rumors, of course, but I've heard rumors for so long that Luigi's Mansion 4 is coming soon for the Switch 2. But like, the thing is it this year? Is it next year? I don't really know. I don't think at this point Nintendo's just gonna be like, yeah, Luigi's Mansion 4 is out next month for Halloween. I think we're kind of booked out this year, but I was hearing rumors like 6 months ago saying that it was going to be released early 2026. Like February or something like that, or March. And at the time, I was like, what? They're not going to do it for Halloween? But at this point, after I've seen all the games we have already, I don't think it's going to be... Yeah. Yeah, I think starting out with Luigi's Mansion 4 would be a huge banger. Kind of like celebrating the 40th anniversary of Mario, but also like in the general direct, right? Then they'll be like, yeah, Mario's 40th anniversary. They'll show us some clips of it and be like, hey, by the way, Mario's 40th anniversary is coming up. You know, we'll either have a direct for it or we won't have a direct for it. That's the problem. But here, though, if it is in a general direct, they'll just be like, hey, by the way, Mario's 40th anniversary, Luigi's Mansion 4, right? And then they'll go into maybe some third-party stuff. And then I'm not going to, talk about a ton of these, but we might see Final Fantasy VII for the Switch too. There's a lot of games like that a lot of people have been waiting for. But also, then they'll be like, hey, also, to announce, to go alongside Mario's 40th anniversary, this could be right after they announce Luigi's Mansion 4. I'm not sure, but whatever. They'll be like, hey, by the way, Mario Baseball. We did get that leak of that Mario Baseball toy, and I talked about this earlier in another video, and you might be thinking, well, it's just a Mario Baseball toy. What does that tell us? Well, actually, that tells us a lot. First off, it makes sense that we would get a Mario Baseball game, right? Because we have all these other sports games, but not baseball. And every time, they do this every time. They do this every year. With, like, Sonic, the movie, they, like, spoiled it with the McDonald's toys, if anyone remembers that. Like, this is the type of thing that they're just totally, like, toy companies totally do. So I definitely think we'll be getting Mario Baseball at this Nintendo Direct for sure. Probably somewhere in the middle. Like I said, I guess it could be an opener, but like I said, Luigi's Mansion 4 is probably going to be released early next year. Maybe. Grain of salt, everyone. But it depends on what happens there. Anyways, so I think those would be like the two big ones, plus a Metroid Prime 4, depending on when we'll get like the release date or whatnot. But then it's like, more third-party stuff. And then finally, at the very end of the Direct, they'll be like, hey, all right, here it is. The 3D Mario you've all been waiting for. Here's a teaser trailer for it. I'm not sure if they would give us a release date. I think they might just say 2026. But as like the 40th anniversary of Mario, they'll just be like, hey, here it is. This is all assuming that there isn't a 40th anniversary Direct and it's all in just this general Direct. So like I said, grain of salt. But that would be great, because then we could be like, you could have Luigi's Mansion 4 coming early 2026, a Mario Sports game probably coming out right away, like the holiday season, like a smaller game, right? So that can like tie us off for the 40th anniversary of Mario and get us excited while we wait for the brand new 3D Mario sometime in 2026. But what do you guys think? Do you think I'm putting too heavy of the Mario games on here? Probably. And you might be thinking, well, that's kind of a Mario Direct. But like I said, there'll be third-party stuff there as well, along with, Metroid Prime 4. We'll probably get another like small teaser of Hyrule Warriors as well, maybe a release date for that somewhere in the middle. But, like I said, there's other small stuff in the middle, but these three Mario games, I just have a good feeling about them. I don't know if Nintendo would do it all in one Direct, because there's a lot of Mario stuff, but then again, it's Mario's 40th anniversary. But what did they say it for Mario 40th Anniversary Direct? I don't know. But let me know down below in the comments what you guys think of this list. And let me know what games you want to see at this upcoming September 12th Direct. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And of course, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and we will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.